We begin in a dystopian, post-apocalyptic United States of America, or USA, where a cataclysmic event known as the Death Stranding caused beach things, or BTs, which are invisible creatures that originate from the beach, a world between the living and the dead with a unique instance for each person, to begin roaming the Earth. BTs cause massive explosions known as voidouts when they consume a living human, and produce rain known as timefall that rapidly ages and deteriorates anything it touches. New BTs are created from corpses that are not incinerated within 48 hours after death as they undergo necrosis. These events severely damage the country's infrastructure, leading its remaining population to confine themselves in remote colonies known as Knot Cities, which form the remaining United Cities of America, or UCA. These colonies have since relied on the services of a company called Bridges, whose porters brave the BTs, bandits, and terrorists to deliver supplies to and from the cities. Bridges also performs various governmental functions on behalf of the UCA. If a person achieves a mental connection to a bridge baby, or BB, which is a premature child existing in a state between life and death, it's possible for them to sense the presence of a BT. Bridges porters each carry a BB with them, which is stored in a pod on the front of their suit that simulates the womb of a still mother, a brain-dead mother sustained in Capital Knot City's Intensive Care Unit, or ICU. A condition known as DOOMS, depending on its severity, allows an afflicted person to naturally sense, see, or even control a BT, as well as granting a variety of other powers, such as teleportation and the ability to travel to other people's beaches. There are also individuals known as repatriates, who can travel back from the seam, which is a place between the world of the living and the beach, upon death. As such, these individuals can effectively come back to life when killed, though their deaths will still cause voidouts if killed during contact with a BT. Freelance courier Sam Porter Bridges is transporting cargo to Central Knot City, but is interrupted by timefall and takes shelter in a nearby cave, where he receives assistance from Fragile, the owner of delivery company Fragile Express, in evading a BT. Afterward, Sam arrives at his destination, where he's informed that one of Central Knot's citizens has committed suicide, and their corpse is on the verge of transforming into a BT due to necrosis. Because he is both a repatriate and has dooms, Sam is given an emergency assignment by Bridges to accompany its corpse disposal team to an incinerator to safely dispose of the corpse. However, an encounter with BTs hinders the team's progress, and one of its members is consumed by a BT, causing a voidout that destroys Central Knot City and the surrounding area, leaving only a gigantic empty crater. Sam revives in Capital Knot City and meets Deadman, a doctor from Bridges, who tasks Sam with delivering morphine to the dying president of the UCA, Sam's adoptive mother, Bridget Strand. Bridget pleads with Sam to rejoin Bridges and help realize her dream of reforming America just before she finally succumbs to uterine cancer and dies in front of him. Sam then transports Bridget's body to be incinerated, but refuses to also incinerate BB-28, a BB that has been marked for retirement due to its perceived malfunction during the Central Knot City voidout incident. With BB-28's assistance, Sam is able to evade a horde of BTs and return safely to Capital Knot City. Sam then decides to take BB-28 as his own, and against UCA instructions to treat BBs purely as pieces of equipment, Sam gradually forms an emotional bond with it, eventually nicknaming it Lou. After resting, Sam receives a message from his estranged sister, Amelie Strand. She tells him that over the past 3 years, she led an expedition across what remains of the contiguous United States, making contact with the remaining cities and survivor settlements, and setting up terminals that would allow them to connect to the chiral network, a system that facilitates instantaneous communication and data transference across vast distances using the beach as the medium. However, upon reaching Edge Knot City, the final stop of the expedition, located on the west coast, Amelie was captured and is being held hostage by an anti-UCA terrorist group called the Homo Demons to guarantee Edge Knot City's independence from the UCA. She asks Sam to come to her, following the path of her expedition and using a device called the Cupid to connect the terminal she left behind into a single continent-spanning network, thus reforming America and completing her work along the way. When his journey ends at Edge Knot City, he can then rescue Amelie and return her to Bridges so that she can take Bridget's place as the new president of the UCA. Sam reluctantly accepts her request to undertake the mission. Following the instructions of Di Hardman, Bridget's personal aide and the current director of Bridges, Sam begins his journey from the east to west coast of North America. Along the way, he delivers valuable cargo to the various Knot cities and settlements, helps to research the Death Stranding with the assistance of Bridges' staff members such as Mama, Hartman, and Mama's twin sister, Lochna, and thwarts destructive plots by the Homo Demons and their leader, Higgs Monahan. While connected to Lou, he experiences memories depicting a former United States Army Special Forces captain named Clifford Unger, or Cliff, with his hospitalized wife and BB child. Sam is pulled into Cliff's beach multiple times, with each occurrence changing form to battlefields from World War I, II, and Vietnam, where he is forced to fight against Cliff, now a BT-like entity, who relentlessly seeks his lost BB. Upon reaching Edge Knot City and completing the chiral network, Sam fights and defeats Higgs at Amelie's beach. Higgs reveals that Amelie is an extinction entity, or EE, which is a godlike being manifested by the universe to trigger mass extinction events, just as before in Earth's history, millions of years prior, with the 5 major extinction events known as the Big Five. However, Amelie is conflicted over how to best carry out her cosmological duties, and whether it would be more humane to immediately end all life on Earth by triggering the 6th extinction, or last stranding, now, or to allow life to continue until the inevitable extinction in the future. Amelie is revealed as the true leader of Homo Demens, having manipulated the completion of the chiral network to enable the last stranding, as by connecting everyone to the network, it also connected their beaches to Amelie's. It's also revealed that Amelie and Bridget are the same person, due to Bridget's soul becoming separated from her body during early experiments into the beaches, given the alias Amelie as a cover story, and only ever communicating with the living world through chiral holograms, or chiralgrams, via the network. With the help of the allies he made on his journey, Sam reaches Amelie and convinces her not to initiate the last stranding immediately. Amelie decides to slow down the inevitable extinction of humankind as much as she is able to by severing her beach from the world and existing in solitude until the extinction. She ejects Sam back to his own beach, where he is rescued by his Bridges allies after over a month of searching for a way to reach him, returning him to the world of the living. In the aftermath, Di Hardman becomes the president of the UCA, Fragile resolves to rebuild her company, and Deadman informs Sam that Lou is dying. Although UCA law demands that dying BBs are incinerated, Sam follows the off-the-record advice of Deadman and removes Lou from its pod in the slim hope of saving its life and allowing it to grow as a normal human child. In doing so, Sam connects with Lou one last time and discovers that the memories he's been viewing are actually his own. Sam is Cliff's son, who had been transformed by Bridget into one of the first BBs during experimentation as a potential initial sacrifice to build the chiral network, and was accidentally killed by Bridget alongside his father after Cliff learned of her deception and attempted to escape with Sam. Sam was then resurrected by Amelie on the beach afterward, which triggered the Death Stranding, along with all its associated effects of repatriation, dooms, and BTs, as doing so entangled the world of the living with the beach. The spirits of deceased BBs appear to help save Lou's life, and Sam burns his UCA cufflinks in the incinerator, rendering him untraceable by the UCA, thus going off the grid to live a peaceful life raising Lou, whose full name is revealed to be Louise, the name he was originally going to give his unborn daughter who died several years earlier.